I would clear a record for $0 and I get my publishing. I don't give a fuck. Man, the publishing shit is so real. People don't realize, like, I get money every month out of there and it just keeps coming in. It keeps growing. Like, every time I take money out, there's more money the next month that I go and check my balance. I'll tell you the exact amount of money I've made. Since 2022, I've made about $85,000 on publishing. I think in a nutshell, my strategy, if I had to start from zero, selling samples. Calling back, got some keys.
Hi guys, we are on the 8th episode of the Producer Royalty Podcast, and I am here today with a young legend. I'm gonna give you legend status, bro, because you have grown to a height at the age of 21 or 22.
Yeah, 21.
21, 20,
yeah.
and so rapidly too. Like you're on top of the content world right now, and like your future is so freaking bright. You've done so much. So I'm here today with Kavi. Thank you so much for joining me, Kavi. How you doing today?
Good, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Do you attribute most of your success that you've achieved, right? Because you're always talking about productivity, and staying on top of a schedule and making sure that you're executing on your ideas. Do you attribute most of your success to like your talent or to the systems that you've created for yourself?
I feel like a lot of times I don't mention it enough, but I do think that none of like the systems, the productivity stuff that I do, none of it matters unless the music is really good. So I mean, if you have music that doesn't stand out, it's just harder to do everything. So I think the first step for anyone is to spend years just getting good before you're worried about getting placements, making money, or any of that stuff. It doesn't hurt to also be practicing, all like making content and doing that stuff while you're learning. But I would try to not have your expectations like I'm going to make a full-time career off of this in a year. But yeah, so to answer your question, I think my talent is the foundation, but the reason that I've been able to do a lot of things that other producers are not able to do, like all of these things I'm doing, is because of those systems and that like discipline and the productivity stuff that I do. Because there's a lot of people that are more talented than me, but I don't know anyone who's doing as many things as I am at the level that I'm doing everything at.
So a lot of creatives think that if you put yourself on like a really strict schedule and discipline, that might like reduce your creativity in a sense. You know what I mean?
It depends on what your goals are. If your goals are just to make amazing music and you don't care if it gets placed, you don't care if you make money on it, you don't care for anything other than just you want to make music, then I don't think you need to have a schedule. You could just do it as a hobby and just do whatever you feel like that day. But if you want to make a career out of it, you need to be thinking about it more than other producers if you want to stand out and be able to have a fighting chance. And yeah, I feel like that's an advantage that I have over a lot of producers, because if I did what I feel like whenever I don't have a plan for the day and I just kind of go through and do what I want to do, I get like a quarter of the amount of stuff done than I do whenever it's like set in stone. And I don't even just like say, oh, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm going to make loops. I have like, I'm going to make a Drake R&B loop. I'm going to make a soul sample. I'm going to make Lil Baby. Oh, I'm working on Kanye album. I'm going to make stuff for Kanye's album after all that. So it's like, I write down like every single thing that I'm going to do during the day. And most of the time I give myself way too many things to do. But I end up getting way more done than if I was to just like say, oh, I'm gonna make music today and just see what happens.
Yeah. So did the sample route for you come because you were just doing better in making samples than like, because for you, like, how much time do you spend actually like finishing beats and like sending finished beats out to?
I might finish one beat a month just for fun. Like,
really?
I don't even send it out. It's just like, just to hear. Yeah. I'll make, I call them test drums. Like I'll make test beats or whatever on my loops just to make sure that they're easy to use and like they'll sound fire with drums. But yeah, I exclusively make loops pretty much. And then so how I got into like the loop side of things is I used to be the guy who couldn't make melodies, and I just used splice loops, threw drums on there, and like had my YouTube type beat channel and all that. And then I think it got to a point I was working with like artists, and it just felt limiting. Like, damn, like I got to go through loops every time I want to make, like I can't, like if they have an idea of like something they want in their head, I can't just like make it, you know what I mean? So then I kind of got into making melodies, but I was still very much focused on like making my own beats. But But as I kind of got better with making melodies, I started sending them out, and then once I saw success with that, just completely just like fuck beats. I'm going all in on this because this is what's working, and
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
doing that exclusively. I would say since 2021, so like 3 years, I've just been straight melodies.
Yeah, are there a lot of producers that do that? Like a lot, or is it kind of
Straight,
like a
just
very
only
small, like
melodies.
straight melodies? Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's like
yeah,
I wouldn't say 50-50, but at least it seems that way. Like if you look at a lot of placements nowadays, there's a guy who made the loop and there's the guy who made the drums on a lot of them. Not all of them. There's people who just
yeah,
all do it in the room together. But more than ever now, there's people who are like strictly all I do is make melodies, and then there's also guys who strictly just do drums. And then I feel like it's that. I mean, there's always the debates about loop maker versus drum maker. All of that is stupid. But yeah, it's just like
yeah,
they're better at making drums, they're better at making loops, and we work together and make the best final product. Like I'm not trying to, the drum guys do stuff that I can't do, and I do stuff that they can't do. And
yeah.
we come together and make something that's better together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I've cleared over 100 placements now, probably closer to 150, and like there's 90% of the time there's multiple producers on the beat, like more
Yeah.
than 90% of the time, maybe something around there. And like I never know what people's contributions actually are, or what goes into them. Like I usually don't even see the stems. Like I don't a lot of times I don't even ask. I'm just like I just kind of handle the business, so like I don't know what goes into that a lot of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for you, you sell loops in masses, like,
Yes.
and have there been any complications or difficulties that have like come from that type of process or workflow that, or stories you want to share?
I might be dumb for this. I might in a couple years be like, man, that was some dumb shit. But I'm kind of the mindset that like there could be things that get messy, but I would rather just put everything out there and let stuff happen. And if it gets messy, we'll figure it out. It might be difficult, but the business is always going to get figured out at the end of the day. It might not be ideal, but I would rather have 10 placements drop with one loop and then have to figure out the business on that than to like only send the loop to one person who never sends it out to an artist and then just get nothing. You know what I mean? So my mindset is just like put everything, like every idea that I make deserves to be pushed just as much. Like why would I limit it unless it's something very like if someone texts me and they're like, yo, I'm in the room with Drake right now, we want exclusive stuff, like yes, I'll send something exclusive to that person. But if I'm just doing my own thing and I'm not making something for someone, I'm just making my own stuff, like I'm putting that everywhere I can to increase my chances, because I don't see the point in and some people don't like that, but I don't know, I feel like stuff's changing and people don't care as much.
Yeah, they should know when they're working with you that that's like what you do. Like everybody's got to know that like if they're getting a loop from your pack, it's been 100 places at least, right? Like
Yeah.
What usually happens? Like I know most of the time I assume. Well, can you break down how your process usually goes? Your clearance process usually goes when let's say they get a loop from a place that is like, you know, there's hundreds of smaller artists using it or beats online. Like how does that usually go?
I would say 90% of the placements I get, even with major labels, not just independent small people, I clear them as saying non-exclusive sounds like you're just buying a lease from me, like I'm leasing you the MP3 to my sample or something, but that's not what we're doing. We're giving them all of the rights that they would need, like they would get with a traditional producer buyout. But essentially what it is they're sampling me. So it would be like I made an old Michael Jackson record that got sampled. You don't own that Michael Jackson record just because you used it in your song, but you might still have to credit those people as co-producers and, you know what I mean? So I still own most of them, but obviously when it's something major and it's something that I don't want to fall through, I'll sign the traditional producer agreement, but for 90% of them, I just do non-exclusive because it's not even me trying to be like do some power move, like, oh, I want to like not sell them an exclusive, or you know what I mean? My samples are in so many places that I have no idea who's used them, and I what's in my head is like I would be kicking myself if I sold a sample for $1,000 exclusive. I was like, sure, I'll take the money, whatever. And then 2 days later, I get a text and it's like Drake just hopped on this. Like that would crush me, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just try to retain my ownership as much as I can. But if the situation is getting out of hand and it's something I don't want to lose, then I'll just sign the normal agreement.
Yeah. So they're clearing it like a sample and they get all the rights. Like, so have you encountered any issues with like content ID from, major labels using it? Because I know, they're assuming that it has been used. Well, let me first ask you this. When they ask you, has this what's the label or the artist team or usually the lawyer asking you? Is it like, has this loop been used and how has it been out? Like,
Normally they've maybe I just don't pay enough attention in the email threads because Kyle's the best. He just handles all that stuff.
yeah.
But I don't think they ask if someone else has used it most of the time. They just send me the terms and we just figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But in my agreements, it's like Kyle was explaining it to me the other day. It's something kind of like I don't have like if I sell J. Cole a non-exclusive license to just sample my stuff, and then the next day Kanye wants to come out with that same sample, but he wants it exclusive. I don't have to notify J. Cole's. I don't have to tell them about any like future licenses that I'm selling or anything like that because they don't own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's
Gotcha.
pretty much the gist of it. But I'm not a lawyer, so I could be wrong. Kyle came up with all that stuff.
Yeah. No, they do a great job. I've been on the email chain with
Yeah.
handling it on your end, and like he handles it very professionally and he does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to quickly interrupt and say, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. We're really trying to get this information out to the community. I know you guys probably have a lot of friends that could really benefit from this. The business side is not talked about enough, and if you could share this in your producer group chats, that would really mean a lot. We're really trying to start a movement with not just producer royalty, but with this pay your producer brand as well too. So this is my favorite hoodie right now in the entire world. Like, I love this shit so much. It's super heavy duty, got a lot of texture to it, very unique. Like, you're not seeing one of these anywhere else. Shout out Wade, shout out Codeine Beats. They're the founders of Pay Your Producer. If you're interested in copping this hoodie, hit the link in the description below. All right, now back to the interview. If somebody wanted to start selling samples like today, like, all right, I want to take the sample maker route, like, what would you say to them? What would be your main suggestion?
I would say the main suggestion is, everyone says it, but just I would start making content. Like, that's just like, well, first of all, like, just like I said before, get good at making music. That's just like, you can't do anything unless your stuff is good. But assuming your music is good, like, it's ridiculous how not how easy, but it's ridiculous how like possible it is with content to pop off with your samples or even your beats. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen, but that dude Nico Barron on Instagram,
Oh, yeah?
he posts those reels where he's just like with his synths playing his loop or whatever. Off of that, he got a Kanye placement and he got Drake himself to follow him, and he got Rilo Rodriguez placement on his beat that he made in one of those. So like, this shit works. And I mean, I haven't got anyone huge yet hit me up, but I've been posting consistently just like my face cam and my like the beat that I made or whatever, and just kind of playing it and bobbing my head, faking it, whatever. And they're not going crazy yet, but people who follow me who typically aren't really hitting me up will hit me up and be like, yo, bro, I need that loop. And it might have been a loop I literally sent them like the day before, but when they see it on Instagram, it's like, oh, I need that, you know what I mean? But besides that and like networking and getting it to other people and placements, I am doing the ManyChat automations where you comment fire emoji and I'll DM you the link. So that's an automated thing. So I'm not going in and DMing everyone, but it boosts engagement, and then that tells Instagram that the post is a better post than it maybe really is. So it pushes it to more people comment, you know what I mean? And then I'm sending them the link to it, but that's also putting them on my email list. So I think in a nutshell, my strategy, if I had to start from zero selling samples without spending any money on ads, is I would do organic content that leads to an email capture, and then do email marketing to sell them. Because email marketing makes like more than 50% of my revenue on selling sample kits is from email marketing.
Really?
Yeah, like
Wow.
I did in November, I did around a little less than $40,000 in sales, and $22,000 of that was from my email list. So
Sheesh.
it it shit works. Like building an email list is the best way to make money long term on social, like on e-commerce kit selling. Just
Yeah.
even beat selling. Like even for people with beats, you could do the same exact thing, just replace it with beats. Instead of posting your samples that you've made, post your beats and attract artists instead of other producers. You know what I mean? So
Do you have separate email lists? Like, is there one for this or that, or is it all just the same email list? Like, do you
well,
diversify
I
delivery at
don't
all?
I don't oh, like, well, it's all going to producers, like for kids, because I don't try to sell beats at all anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that makes sense.
uh there is so many different segments and stuff that it's like Heat does all that. I don't touch any of that anymore either. That's one thing I've been like learning, just like I feel like over the past couple of years, is like I just keep delegating more and more stuff that I'm not even that I couldn't be good at, but I don't want to be good at, and I just give that to someone else so I can keep making music because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say shout out to Heat because I just connected with them recently and I seen all the work that they've done with you. So shout out Heat Marketing. They do some really dope work. But I wanted to ask you, like, you know, who is behind the engine of Kavi? Like, who is on your team, would you say, or really consistently helps you make plays?
Okay, so I feel like I have like three kind of branches of the machine or whatever you want to call it.
I want to
Um,
call it the machine.
so I've got so Sonics is where I sell my kits. I got people that help me with that, and then content, and then the third side would be like the industry stuff. So for the industry stuff, BeatStars Publishing, Kyle Brown, Mike Tramp, and Greg Mateo, those are my guys. Like they help me with everything. Mike and Greg pretty much unofficially manage me for free. I have super lucky. Like I don't know why they help me so much for free, but they do. I don't pay Kyle anything. Um,
Yeah,
but
shout out them. That's like so huge. Like I tried to emphasize this on the like interview with Kyle. Like the fact that Kyle and the BeatStars team help you with your placements for free is insane. By being a BeatStars publishing member, like they don't just do it for you. Like they do
yeah,
it for other BeatStars publishing
yeah,
members. Like that is a huge value add. Like I feel like I can't even be emphasized enough. So
yeah,
yeah.
like yeah. I will never. I don't think I will ever sign a pub deal with anyone else. Like it's just it has been perfect with, and they they kind of set the example for me, at least like in the industry side of things, of like the business that I want to do. Like like if I got a better deal than I have with them, they would tell me to go sign that deal. They wouldn't be trying to like, oh bro, but like you know what I mean? You need to. So they're just super good people. But yeah, they help me with the industry side of things, making sure I'm registering my songs. I'm getting paid my advances. My contracts are good. All that. Also giving me opportunities and stuff. Like Greg linked me with Suicide Boys, so that's how I'm working with them. And then, um,
Because they
so
offer like in the Discord and stuff, like to BeatStars publishing
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
members, they offer opportunities, right? Yeah.
yeah. So that's my whole machine on like the placement side of things. If I didn't have that, oh my god, I would be fucked on the like my contract. Yeah, everything would be screwed up with that side of things because I already
Shout
get
out to them.
overwhelmed with just like the amount of email threads that I've got going, and I'm not even the one talking in them. So Kyle does all that shit. But so I have that side, and then for content, I have my well, they're kind of both like content and Sonics, but for content, I have my graphic designer. His name is Prod Gary on Instagram. He does all my covers for my kits and stuff like that, and my thumbnails for my videos. Um, and then I have my video editor, Kayano, which is man, that's my
Kills
guy.
it.
He is the goat. Yeah, I started out paying him $15 per video. They were so bad. Like his edits were terrible. I was terrible on camera. But we've built it up over time, and we've just gotten so
Fire.
much
That's
better.
perfect
Like working
synergy.
together. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he's done every single one of my videos since the start of my channel. Uh, so
Wow.
yeah, you could see his growth. It's crazy. But um, I've got those two for the content side of things, and then I have on Sonics. They don't work like under me. I just am partnered with them. Ryan and Robin are the two guys that I talk to there, and they run my whole like email marketing. But they do so much more than that. They build like my web pages for my kits. They build those. I just give them notes on like, yo, fix this, add this. I want this color. I just tell them what I want it to look like. They do it. Um,
Fire.
so and they just get a percentage of my email revenue. So
Mm.
they run my marketing, and give me a ton of ideas for like the business side of stuff. And then the another guy that I have helping me a lot with just kind of some more like assistance work, like um running. He helps. I don't know if you've seen, but I do like placement packs in my Discord, so you can get free placement opportunities.
Uh-huh.
And they're I don't know how many beats get sent in, but my guess is like 1,000 a week. He'll go through every single
Ooh.
beat and he'll send me like the best 20 out of those that I can go and send out for opportunities and stuff.
God
So
damn.
he does that, and then he also helps me kind of like organize files. He posts all my content on social media. I don't post that anymore. He posts like I even schedule out my story posts. Like I have story posts scheduled out till like May or something like that.
For real.
Yeah,
Oh shit, that's awesome.
not every
Yeah.
single story post is scheduled, but I have like certain ones scheduled like way out in advance. So yeah, he's posting, but yeah, he's just kind of doing like assistant work, like just any task that is kind of uh, I just don't have the time to be doing or I shouldn't be doing. I just delegate it out to him.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out everybody on that team.
Yeah.
For real. Y'all, y'all making the machine work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way I could be doing all of the things I'm doing right now by myself. There's
Yeah.
no way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to hop to the back to the placement process
Hmm.
conversation. So you said that one way you could try to get placements is to offer a bigger name producer. Like if you use this, you can take a bigger percentage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm referring? Yeah. So is that something that you've done yourself, or you've just seen other people doing it? And if you have done it yourself, how has that gone for you?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like on the outside looking in, it looks like I'm like I wouldn't even say I'm an industry producer. Like I'm really not trying to get these placements. Like it sounds crazy, even to me. Like I don't really understand how I keep getting these major songs, but I'm not trying to work my move and get stuff. I do think that that would work, and I think that people who have no network, no brand for themselves yet, can definitely use those strategies. I was talking to DB, and he was like he used to just DM people that were like working around Future, like producers that were working around him or working with the producers who are around him. Like, I'll send you $200 to like let's work or whatever. That's like way more attention grabbing than just like let's work. Like 80
Yeah.
different DMs. And then if you're actually good, like I would never pay someone for a collab if I was not confident that my stuff was like very good. Like not just like decent, like I've been doing this for a year or two and I'm okay, but like really, really good and different. Um, because then like you pay them $200. If they really like your stuff, you won't ever have to pay $200 again, and then you get that connection. So you could even think about it like, would I pay $200 for a flight to LA to go link up with this big producer? Fuck yeah, I would. So why wouldn't I just pay this guy $200 to like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think offering stuff like that is uh, underrated to get connections with those big people. Like even um, if you wanted to work with me or something, I already have a video editor, but let's say I was always posting like, "Yo, I need a video editor." You know what I mean? Uh, if you DM me and was like, "Yo, I'll edit all your videos for free," like, but can I send you loops or whatever? Like, I would 100% open that before I open just like, let's work from some random guy. You know what I mean? So,
Hell yeah.
I'm definitely on the side of provide value, even if it means you have to lose money or effort or time or whatever it is in the short term to get that connection. Like, you, at the end of the day, you're asking something out of that person. Like, return a favor
Yeah.
for a favor, you're gonna go farther. You don't need to do all this stuff. It's not like you can't work with me unless you like give me something, but it's like you're just gonna increase your chances. You know what I mean? So
Now you've built a strong brand, right? Obviously. And when you get a placement, have you ever encountered situations where the bigger producers are trying to take a much larger percentage than, like to offer some type of unreasonable split? And how do you approach those conversations now?
I have not had any producer give me like a disrespectful percentage where it's like they get 45, I get 5%. Like I've never had any. I've heard stories about this, but I have not personally had anything like that happen. Um, but honestly, I think a lot of it is because I have a dependable income. Placements are just kind of like a bonus for me. Like they're fun to get, and I'll take the extra money. But I'm never really pressed about the amount. amount I'm getting on an advance or my percentage or stuff like that. Um, I just like if if it's just two of us on a beat and they want 30 and I take 20%, like I really don't care. I don't care. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like especially if they got it placed, like I wasn't in the room with them. I wasn't in the room with Future making that song. Like you take whatever you need. I just I want to be easy to work with. I don't want anyone to like get a placement with me and then have a bad taste in their mouth of their experience like doing business with me. I want it to always be seamless. Like even like I work with vocalists and I give them publishing and credit, and I could be like treat them just like it's a whole like another collaborator. They gotta cut their percentage again, even though I didn't say there was a vocalist to start with. But I always take their percentage out of my percentage. So I'm not, if Metro uses my loop and I used a vocalist on it, Metro's not being affected at all by my vocalist split. You know what I mean? So I try to just make things
Gotcha.
like
That's
as easy
actually
as
big.
possible. I try to make things as easy as possible for the people I'm working with because I want to get repeat business. Like I could be that guy who gets one placement with everyone and then nobody wants to work with them again. Like I'm a run through people that are getting placements. You know what I mean? I would rather have like 5 people that I'm consistently getting songs with that are just like it's easy. You know what I mean? So, um, I'm never really tripping about stuff like that as long as it's not like disrespectfully low where it's like, bro, like I'm not, you know, if as long as
Yeah.
it's like it seems fair, I'm not even gonna negotiate. I'm just like, yeah, bro, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that you just articulated that like better. I've heard this conversation a lot, and I think you might have given the best
Oh,
explanation of that,
appreciate
like,
it.
of that mindset. Because
But
yeah,
yeah,
so that
I
makes
feel
a lot
like
of sense.
people are just so short minded. Like, wouldn't you rather work with this guy that got you the placement and get placements for the next 10 years than to get an extra 5% on the record? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like,
literally,
it's
like over basically nothing. Like
yeah,
it
like
comes out to
it's
like
it's ego. Like it's like, but I feel like I deserve $10,000 advance. Like,
yeah,
I,
ego
even
pushing against ego because it's
yeah,
like
it's like even if I can get 10,000, they might be like, not even as like a fuck you, but just like, oh, that guy's out of our budget. I'm never gonna work with him again. You know, like I don't
yeah.
know. I just like I just want to be easy to do business with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in the placement process, so a lot of times what happens, I know you let Kyle take the lead, so maybe you're not too familiar, but like a lot of times what happens is if there's a loop maker that doesn't really have a brand, especially when they don't have a lawyer, the bigger producer will kind of just take the lead on negotiating. They'll agree to the all-in fee, the all-in term, so they'll agree to, before a lot of times the loop maker even gets brought into the conversation, they'll agree, I'm agreeing to $2,000 and 3 points, and then the other producer comes in, and then it's like it's kind of weird on the management / lawyer perspective. It's like, well, this guy already agreed to a term and he's the one that landed it, so like what if we ask for more? Is that like, it's kind of a weird thing to navigate.
Yeah,
You
it
know
is
what I'm talking about?
I I think every situation is different. Obviously, if I get a placement with someone like Metro Boomin or TM88 and they negotiate, like that relationship is too valuable for me to go back and try to negotiate for more because I'm just like, I don't want things to be weird between us. But if it's like some random dude who agreed to a $200 advance from me, I'm gonna be like, no, like I just like that doesn't work for my business. Like not even in a personal like fuck you way, whatever. But I think assuming that the producers are on a similar level or just have a talking relationship, I feel like they should just text each other first and be like, yo, you cool with this, before they send it off to the email. You know what I mean? Because then even from the
Yeah.
bigger producer's perspective, it's like then there's going to be no surprises of this guy all of a sudden coming with, I want 20K even though I agreed to 5K because of this guy's my friend. You know what I mean? Like I think that it would be better to like put everyone who's on the beat in a group chat, be like, this is all good with you guys, right? These are the splits, whatever, and then move forward with it. Even if the big producers like just preface it with like, yo, like this is what I always do with them. Is this cool? Like just I don't want any surprises, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because like I said, I don't really consider the creative process like that much. So I'm always think when I see 4 producers on a beat and I see the bigger producer taking like 30% and making the other 4 split like, or the other, whatever the math is, like taking most of it and then making them split like the chump
Yeah.
change. I don't really think about how the bigger producer probably a lot of times was just got a loop and he didn't know that there was 3 other people on it a lot of times. So he probably was like, all right, well, that's your guys' thing.
I've heard the argument. I obviously I'm never gonna push back, and if there's 3 people on a beat say that, oh no, bro, you should take the full 25 and we'll split the other 25. Like if they want to offer me 16, I'm taking it, of course. But like on my 21 Savage placement that we just got done recently, they were like, is it cool if the guys who made the loop, because there's 3 of us on the loop, is it cool if you guys split the loop stuff and we split the other stuff? I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Like you did the same, whether there was 100 people on that loop or 1 person on that loop, your work was the exact same. It was 50% of the product. You made the final beat. Why should we cut into your... I completely understand that. Obviously, yeah, like if you want to split it equal with everyone, I'm all for that. But I'm just never tripping about it. Like it makes sense. Like if someone wants to split, even if it's like I made the play, I got the song placed, I didn't touch the beat at all, and then you 3 made the beat, I want to take 25%. You 4 split the yes, it sucks. Like I want a bigger percentage, but I'm not gonna say anything. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I would just rather like keep getting work. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't push back too much on stuff unless it's like the only thing I really push back on is the non-exclusive, but that's not even like a disrespecting or any. It's just like I'm making too much money selling these samples on my like. I really could care less about the placement. It's like if I can't sell this anymore, then I'm not going to be making that recurring money that I make every month, which is more than I'm going to make on the placement. So like,
yeah.
Other than the non-exclusive stuff, like maybe I shouldn't say this, but I would clear a record for $0 and I get my publishing. I don't give a fuck. Like I do not care about the advance. I love getting advances, but I'm never gonna like be tripping about stuff like that. As long as I get
like chump change.
Yeah. Well, it's not even chump. It's not even that it's chump change because it's nice money, but it's like I would rather have the terms that I need and get no advance than take a big advance and not have the terms that I need. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
the terms and the percentage are much more important to me than the advance.
Gotcha. So that makes sense. And yeah, because a lot of people don't even consider that the advance is a prepayment of future royalties. So the lower the advance is, the more royalties you'll just wind up getting in the back end. Like if you agree, oh fuck, I should have asked for more in that advance. God damn. If most of the time, most advances don't recoup. So in that sense, if you do agree to lesser of an advance, it's probably still won't recoup. So then, yeah, you should have asked for more. But hypothetically, if it is a bigger song, then it will recoup, and then you will see that money on the back end anyways. Like for instance, somebody I had one producer that got a Drake placement. He's like, fuck, I didn't know it was a Drake placement. And you know, I agreed to this amount because they bought it, didn't say it was Drake, and I agreed to this amount. But it's like it's fine. Like you agree to a lower advance, but you're gonna get that on the back end. It's Drake. You're gonna get back end royalties, your master royalties from that. So it's not that big of a deal. Like now there is the issue of label accounting. That's all complicated and stuff too. So
the only thing the only thing that's nice about getting the bigger advance is like it is possible that you may never get the master royalties even if you are entitled to that. Like just because it's fucked. That's the
big part of what I'm doing.
The logistics of it is harder than the idea, but yeah, exactly.
That's so you talk about, I wouldn't normally ask this, but you do talk a lot about you know, how much you've made, and I'm pretty new in the publishing industry, so I'm wondering if you have any, like if you wanted to share like how much you've been able to make from publishing. I guess compared to other, you know, revenue streams for you.
Let's see. It's definitely not my main income stream at all. However, I think that in a couple years it might be, as my catalog grows, if I keep getting placements at this rate, just because it keeps making money, like, you know what I mean, over time. Man, the publishing shit is so real. Like, it's crazy. Like, people don't realize, like, especially with Sony and BeatStars, like, I take money out every month. I don't even get, like, the semi-annual, like, check in the mail. Like, I get money every month out of there. And it just keeps coming in. It keeps growing. Like every time I take money out, there's more money the next month that I go and check my balance.
That's big for them. I know that's big. Like that's big that BeatStars allows you to take money out every month. It's
amazing. All right, so since 2022, I've made about $85,000 on publishing, and the couple things to note on that is on a lot of my big records, I do not have a big publishing split. But I keep finding that out that every time there's a big record, it's the one with 5 people on the beat. It's just like every time, no matter what, that's what happens. So I don't have a very big publishing split. If I had 50%, that would be way bigger. And then two, a lot of my placements from 2023 have not been collecting any money yet because it's delayed by like 6 months to a year, depending on all that stuff. So, but consistently, I and most of that money I made last year. Like I would say like more than 80% of it I made last year. So once stuff started coming in, but what the thing that I would stress is you wouldn't be impressed by the amount that I've made per song. Like when you look at how big the names are on Instagram, you would not be impressed. Like damn, like you only made my big, like I think I made 20 grand off of my song with Lil TJ, Beat the Odds, and that has like 150 million streams or something.
God damn, that's that much.
Yeah.
What was the pub percentage on it?
I think I don't remember the exact because it's like something 0.76 or some weird percentage, but I think I had like
12.5
12% ish, 12 13. So like from outside looking in on Instagram, it's like damn, like you did a platinum single and you only got 20 grand, like that's fucked. But the thing is, I have a catalog of like hundreds of songs that made me $200, $3,000, $4,000. This, you know what I mean? So when you add all of it up together, like I can take out thousands of dollars every month from the publishing stuff, which I only see growing. And I'm not collecting on some of my biggest songs. So once this keeps going, they're just like I registered.
Oh, it hasn't
they're
come
just,
through yet.
Yeah, they're not. They haven't come in yet. But I registered my 21 Savage songs literally 2 minutes after the album dropped. Like I register it right away. I don't want to. I do not understand for most producers the thought process of I'm gonna hold out and wait for this huge advance to come through for all my publishing, because you just end up shooting yourself in the foot. You don't you wait 3 years and then your hit that you had 3 years ago, you lost all the money that they made. You know what I mean? So, not all the money, but you lost a lot of the money that you could have gotten. I'm a big advocate for like doing an admin deal to collect your publishing where they don't have any ownership. And BeatStars is great because it's year to year. So let's say I get a shit ton of placements this year, and then all of a sudden towards the end of this year, I'm getting offers for like, we want to sign you for $1 million, $2 million. And I'm like starting to think about like, damn, like I might want to do this. I'm only in that deal for a year. So things can change it like in a year. It's not a 5-year deal where like I'm locked in, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And they don't
gotta make sure you give notice, because a lot of producers don't know. You got to give notice if you want to terminate 30 days.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's 30 or 60 days for BeatStars, but definitely got to make sure you mark your calendars. If you sign with BeatStars or another pub admin like that, really any publisher, you should mark your calendars near the end of the like 60 days before the end of the year to decide. Think about, do I want to get out this deal, and then start thinking ahead. Basically no producer is doing that.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate, but
yeah. But I think the best thing about the admin deals, one in my mind, it's like, that's money that I'm not collecting anyways if I don't sign with someone who's going to be collecting that money for me. So like I give them their fee on money that I would not get otherwise. So like I'm not tripping about that fee at all. But then the thing I love about it the most is like they don't own anything. I could take my shit and leave and I still own all that stuff. Whereas like from my understanding, if you sign a $100,000 co-pub deal, you give up 50% of your publishing. You get that $75,000 because $25,000 went to your manager and your lawyer. So then you get $75,000. You get taxed on that. Let's just say half to be conservative. So for giving up 50% of ownership in your shit, you're getting $37,000 that's supposed to last you for 3 years of your co-pub deal. So you've got to live on 37 grand for 3 years if you don't make any other kind of income. And then on top of that, let's say you do get some placements, you recoup that $100,000. Now they own 50% of your shit still.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, so on the paperwork, it'll say like they own 50%. But it'll say that you get the royalty. Oh, you'll get a royalty of like 60% or 70% is really. So usually a co-pub they take like 30 to 40%.
So they own 50, but
50%, but it doesn't really mean much to. But yeah, so it's like.
But still like you do
But
all of
sometimes
that,
it's
and then
50%.
yeah,
Like
you
when
do all,
producers sign production deals, sometimes a lot of times
yes,
it's 50,
yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah,
actually take 50% and they give you 50%, which is
yeah,
nuts. Like the production
yeah,
deals for producers are always, it's always like, I don't know who's writing them, but they're always pretty similar, like the same contracts, it seems like.
yeah,
So they're
yeah.
fun.
It's
But yeah.
yeah, it's but yeah, I don't understand. Well, okay, I understand why producers do it because it's like when you're not thinking about all of these things, it's like $100,000 in my bank account tomorrow. Like, the fuck? Of course I'm gonna sign that shit. I need the money. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you think long term, I feel like admin is a better move, especially if you have other income sources that you can live on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like
Yeah,
you've built that for yourself, where like you don't have to, you can make the long term play, because there's so many producers I work with that are desperate and like they do need the money now to some extent, and like or at least to live at least kind of the lifestyle that they want. So you built it for yourself where you're not that reliant on it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think
yeah,
I mean I'm not stupid enough to think that everyone is in the same position I'm in, where they like can just be fine without placements or their co-pub deal or whatever it is, but I would urge you to try your best to put yourself in a position where you're not relying on anyone else for your like day-to-day income, because that is fucking, it's stressful as fuck, like having to
yep,
rely on someone using your stuff, getting it like I know people with like tons of unreleased songs with Future or Drake or whoever, and they never come out. They don't get a dollar off that. Like, it sounds really cool, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm a big
yeah.
advocate for like making your money with your own personal brand online, and then everything else is just kind of like not like a hobby, but you know, it's just like it's icing on the cake. It's cherry on top. You know what I mean?
All right, bro. This was like an amazing conversation. We're gonna do a part two, because there's like, I still got a ton more I want to ask you, bro. But like
Yeah.
one last thing I want to ask you before we wrap up is like, how do you look at the future of Kavi? Like where, like when you think of like when I'm 30 years old, because you're so young, bro. Like you're gonna be achieving massive things at this trajectory, bro. It's like,
I think it sounds crazy ambitious and like impossible, and it might be, but I want to be on Cymatics level with selling kits. Like, I want to be like making ridiculous amount of money and like supplying jobs to producers making stuff for the site and all that. I want to be like killing it on the business side of things, like the e-commerce, like one of the top guys on that. I also want to be at the same level as Q Beats, which are the goats, like somehow on every single major album, like all the best songs on every album. So I want to have like, even if I make more money with the e-commerce stuff, placements are more fun for me. Like it's so fun to like have like a number one album that everyone's listening to, and you know what I mean.
yeah,
So I picture like being the next Cymatics, Q Beats, and Kyle Beats or Simon Servita, like all at the same time. Like top content creator. I'm also taking care of this, and I'm also doing placements. And the reason that I at least have the illusion, or maybe that is possible, is I will not do it all by myself. I'm gonna have a team. I'm gonna have a huge team helping me with the e-commerce stuff. I'm gonna have a huge team of maybe producers signed under me with fair deals. I won't do the bullshit deals that everyone else is doing. But I'll have those people who I'll be feeding opportunities to, helping me with the placement side of things. And then I'm gonna have obviously like an editor and stuff like that. I'll probably have people who are giving me content ideas so I don't even have to think about them. Like, so I want like a whole production company for my content. I want a whole production company to make the music for placements, and then I want a whole company for the sound kit side of things. So I pretty
hell yeah.
much see myself being the head of all these things, but growing to the point where like if I step away for a month, everything is still running the same as it would have been if I was not like doing everything. You know what I mean? So
A million
that's where I see
percent.
myself. I pretty much see myself doing the exact same thing or the exact same like avenues I'm doing right now, but just at a level where I'm not the one doing all the grunt work, and I'm kind of just giving direction and making music. That's kind of what my vision is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, because you
Yeah.
seem like somebody that really just loves the process of what you're doing. You know what they say, like the person
Yeah.
who loves walking walks farther than
Yeah.
the person who loves the destination. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
exactly.
yeah, yeah. So I have so much faith in you, bro. Not even
Appreciate it.
faith. Like I if I had to put my money on anything, I know Kavi's gonna be the top dude if he's not already. I think you might be, but like you're so young and the future's so bright. So I thank you so much for joining me on this interview. I know the community got a lot from this one, so appreciate y'all. I don't know how to end it.
Peace. Nah, that'll be perfect.